and Gallas and company under pressure, because they'll play up alongside them more than Henry or Bergkamp would ever do. So it's a different kind of thing they've got to cope with the two front players they're playing against tonight. And I think that's going to be the fascinating thing. We know where Henry likes the ball. We know where Bergkamp likes the ball. We know Arsenal can do that, supply them. Can they supply these two? That's the question tonight.
Well, it was a mouth-watering tie when it was first drawn. That enthralling contest at Highbury has made the flavour even fruitier, and vivid memories too of Cardiff last May add to the sense of anticipation here, whether it's red or blue. These supporters are used to successes in cup competitions.
Oh, it's been stunning. I mean, Richard touched on it right at the top of the show, that two most successful teams throughout the Premiership and the FA Cup. And
I think Manchester United might have something to say about that as well.
Yeah, I know. I think they're up their arse, Richard, to check and make sure that we weren't treading on any Manchester United toes. But when you think Chelsea have only been beaten by Manchester United and Arsenal in the FA Cup, it's extraordinary.
Patrick Vieira and Manu Petit, great mates, of course, when they were playing together in Arsenal's midfield. What a midfield it was. It won the FA Cup back in 1998.
Changed the game, isn't it, mate?
How many players did you peck in the tunnel?
Oh, well, I was pecking them like that. It was usually a bit more ferocious, I tell you. It was probably head to head and arguing with them.
Well, bringing Arsenal back to Stamford Bridge should sharpen Chelsea's chances of gaining some revenge for their misery at the Millennium Stadium. But Arsenal's departure from the Champions League has got the holders refocused on the FA Cup. I promise you it has, even though the team selection might suggest otherwise.
I think players love it, Martin. You only had to listen to Freddie Ljungberg there in the little piece that Claire did with him to see how he desperately wants to go back again. It was one of the most fantastic days of his life. And I think if I was Ranieri and if I could get the message across to my players before it went out, it would be this. Remember how you felt last year when you sat on that grass in Cardiff and watched Arsenal players go and pick up the FA Cup. Remember it, take it with you onto the pitch and use it.
And make sure it doesn't happen tonight, that you're sitting on the pitch at the end and Arsenal are through to the semi-final. Well, we shall see. The prize is a semi-final against Sheffield United 2 weeks next Sunday, and being overwhelming favourites to be displaying the FA Cup in their trophy cabinet at the end of the season. Chelsea and Arsenal, the second and final instalment. It should be a blockbuster. It's right after the break. Well, it's been a wait for the replay. 2.5 weeks since the 2-2 draw at Highbury, which was enthralling. Chelsea struck early then. John Terry, who's just played it wide here to Gallas. That early goal catching Arsenal out following a short corner.
Well, it is three at the back to start with Chelsea. Melchior, Terry in the middle, Gallas on the left. Frank Lampard, I think they'll try early, Martin, to get him involved, try and get him free just behind Zola and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. He's been a little short of goals, either Good Johnson, Martin. That might have influenced Claudio Ranieri's decision as well.
Arsene Wenger broke with his usual routine yesterday. He didn't take the team away to a hotel. The players appreciating a few extra hours with their families. Maybe trying to give them a psychological lift at a time when he's concerned about them physically. They might be a bit vulnerable in that sense after playing, what, 50 hours ago against Everton in that tight, tense but ultimately successful Premiership game. It was a good result for Chelsea as well, as it pegged Everton back in the push for 4th place. Edu, one of the 5 players brought in by Arsene Wenger here at Stamford Bridge. And that leads to a bit of disorganisation. So be it. Seagull thinking Toure would have been to his left. Kolo Touré, incidentally, is playing as a left-back for only the third time in his career. Melchior. He has happy memories of Stamford Bridge. He scored here in the league game, which finished 1-1 back in September. Henry didn't play in that one either. Morris, Seagull gets a good foot defensively in for Arsenal. Jeffers. Seized back by Lampard.
You just have to be careful a little, Chelsea, when they play their system, and they play Melchior as a right-sided centre-back. He does like still to go forward as if he's playing right back, like he did then. Just if that happens and Arsenal break quickly against them, then they could find themselves 2v2 at the back.
Vieira, whose contribution was monumental against Everton. Parlour came on as a substitute in that game. Lauren. Now Seagull. And Touré. A bit of early possession play by the away team. Edu. Now Touré. Tackling back. Well, was Stanic.
Wasn't sure the goalkeeper, was he? Stanic did poke it back towards him. Whether it would have been construed as a deliberate back pass to the referee, I don't know, but he didn't take any chances.
Petit on Vieira.
David Elliott, I think he obviously feels he had to go through Vieira to get the ball. I don't think there's an argument that the ball was won, but it's when. Did he go through it to win it? No, he didn't really. David Elliott thought he did. Felt he took both at the same time, I guess.
Patrick Vieira playing with his knee problem. Wiltor. And Melchior doubling up on him. Straight again, Mario Melchior. You're quite right, Andy. His positional play, which needs a great deal of responsibility in a back three. Just think that's something Arsenal can cash in on.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe that if Chelsea get a bit of pressure on, Melchior just bumps forward. It's almost like he's playing right back.
Gallas.
Stanic is that player. He should just be backing him up a little bit.
Stanic is calling for the ball. He switched to his near side. Down into Hasselbank, who seemed to be decked by Seagull from behind, but referee allowing the game to go on. Here's Lasso. Didn't play in the game at Highbury. Lampard, of course, set up this game with his equaliser in North London. Pires.
One or two players having difficulty keeping a footing on the pitch. It's a newish pitch, I guess, a Chelsea pitch.
Gallas. Chelsea maybe heartened by Highbury. They've given two strong performances since then, emphasising their extra class at West Bromwich Albion, and on Saturday very much putting Manchester City to the sword. Touré took it away from Hasselbank. Seagull.
I think what's really exciting about the game, even for a neutral mark, is the fact that if you look at the whole season, I think only Manchester United are one of the clubs that Arsenal haven't scored against. I think the other Blackburn. So there's only two clubs that Arsenal haven't scored against in this country this season, and I think only Southampton are the only Premiership club that stopped Chelsea scoring here at Stamford Bridge. So everything suggests that there should be chances. We could get exciting and should get exciting football. Whether we get goals depends on whether the chances are taken or not.
Well, they're the two top scorers in the Premiership. And Seagull became a goal scorer for the first time on Sunday. Out of room here. Is Arsenal's 50th game of the season. They've scored 96 goals, to emphasise your point. Zola. Lampard. Torre's got to play it. Couldn't be sure that Taylor was going to get there, although the goalkeeper might have had a different point of view.
I just dealt with it, he should do. Edu didn't do very well there, went to Zola. He gambled on Zola taking it one way, Zola, not surprisingly, went the other. The space was created.
Well, since Graham Lasso came back into the team for the last 2 games, he's been a great supplier from corners.
Oh, Jimmy.
Really, he should have supplied another goal then, because Arsenal were nowhere, Chelsea were queuing up.
Well, I thought Jimmy missed a couple of good chances at Highbury, Mark, for him. And if you're Jimmy Hasselbank, look, the run's a good one. He's absolutely free. Not a defender in sight. 6 yards out. He just makes a mess of the header. That was a glorious opportunity.
Petit. Tony Morris in there with Manu Petit. And that sort of support should give Lampard the licence to really push on as he loves to do. But it's Frank Lampard with a tackle there, helping crowd out Arsenal in the centre of the pitch. Zola, Hasselbank. This is where Lampard can get forward, and well aware of the danger was Parlour.
I thought he was entitled to go for it, Ray. I thought it was there, it was in the air. Didn't have it under control, Frank Lampard. I think it was a free kick.
It's only Stuart Taylor's 3rd FA Cup tie for Arsenal. I shouldn't forget he is a relatively inexperienced goalkeeper. Amongst all the other Arsenal changes. There's plenty of backup talent there, isn't there?
Oh, but
Bergen Ori conspicuous.
and the World Cup winner not even been used.
He's the 17th man.
Yeah. The other bench ain't bad, you know, Mark Ryan. Desailly, Zenden, Good Johnson, Bronkia.
The World Cup winner there as well. Laurie.
Well, in 10 minutes or so, I think Chelsea have started the better side.
It's Lassau's ball. Trying to get the diagonal right for Hasselbank. Taylor saw it coming. Edu. Sol Campbell. Pires, of course, picked up that dreadful knee injury in a quarter-final replay a year ago. That was against Newcastle. Parlour. Not quite of FA Cup final velocity, the shot.
Wrong angle for him, really. The first real attempt to an anger from Arsenal. First time with anything like threatened the Chelsea goal.
And the Chelsea fans feel they are long overdue seeing a major win over Arsenal. Chelsea haven't beaten the Gunners in their last 15 Premiership meetings. 15. More than any of the last 9 meetings in this competition. It goes back to 1947.
I just think the memory of defeat, Martin, is a powerful motivator, and Chelsea players should remember how they felt in Cardiff. I'm sure that Ranieri and his staff have reminded them of that day.
Melchior. Edu. Referee wasn't convinced.
Clumsy from Edu, Mark. Really clumsy. Would have been a harsh penalty kick, I have to say.
Stanic trying to flick it on. Get a corner from the long throw. And Graham Rousseau hurrying across to take it again, knowing the success rate that Chelsea have had in recent games.
Well, you just see Hasselbank's position. It's level with the near post, Martin. That's where he started, and he spun round the back as he's trying to do again. A little heavy with the corner.
Hasselbank then does get a touch. There's a good bit of retrieving very deep by John Terry. Probably overcooked from what Rousseau really had in mind, but John Terry kept it alive.
Well, John Terry does ever so well to retrieve this. Little help on here. Patrick Vieira's a fantastic clearance from the Arsenal captain. But this is a little instant sloppy play. Melchior wins it, but it's more a tangle of arms and legs than anything else. No complaint from Mario Melchior, but a little bit sloppy from Edu.
Gary Lewin attending to Lauren. Here's a free kick to Arsenal.
Well, as the ball goes back in, you see it's Patrick Vieira who goes in and really wins it and claims it and thumps his own player. But that wasn't a concern of Vieira's. His concern was winning it and clearing it.
Well, Van Bronckhorst could come on at left back and Toure could go to right back, but it doesn't look as though it's quite that serious.
Nah, I just think it's a bang. Maybe caught him around about the ribs. So see him holding that low in his rib cage. I wouldn't think that's bad enough to warrant him coming off, Martin. That would be a surprise.
Misjudged by Gallas, who had one or two similar miscalculations at Highbury. Unlike him. Morris. Hasselback. On from Lampard. Zola. So's got into the penalty area from the opposite flank. Agaf gone out not once but twice, but Agaf stayed down. Perez slipped Stanic. Edu. Chelsea working hard to stop Arsenal getting into any sort of passing rhythm. They've switched the ball well here to Lauren.
Lovely football. Calm and controlled. They were under pressure, okay, but passing was quick, incisive.
Parlour. Jeffers and Wiltor up front have hardly had a touch as yet. Jeffers is going to be, sorry Andy, going to be followed for the next few minutes by the player cam. If you're a Sky Digital viewer, you can access that via the red button on the remote. Jeffers, of course, a scorer in the 2-2 draw. Scored all his goals for Arsenal this season when he started. Hasn't come on from the bench to hit the target. But of course did so for England. And that's why he's in the England squad. As is John Terry for the first time. Stanic.
Lovely ball as well. Pretty about the control from Stanic. He applauds the pass, and quite rightly so.
He scored in both the Chelsea's recent Premiership wins, Mario Stanic. Hasselbank. He's complaining again. The whistle does go, it goes in Arsenal's favour. Wiltor sent tumbling by Stanic.
I have to say, I don't agree with the referee at all in that decision. He does go to grandstands, but the face on, Martin, I think. Wiltor coming back, he actually miscontrolled it, Sylvain Wiltor, and it got away from him. Stanic felt he could go and win it. There's a touch, it gets away from him, and then he comes. He just catch him right in the shin.
I think even front on, you can't go that high without incurring some displeasure. The yellow card show.
Well done, ref.
Petit giving Morris a problem. Melchior. Good pick by Cudicini, picking out Hasselbaink. Zola. Middle feels that he didn't touch Gianfranco Zola.
Well, it was adamant, wasn't he, Edu Martin, about this one. Says that Zola just kind of went to ground, and you can see the little man does do. Just overran the ball, went down rather easily. That was what annoyed Edu.
Stanic. Lasso was poised to come in on the volley. Beyond the back post, ball never quite reached him.
It was so high up here at Stamford Bridge in the commentary position, you often don't appreciate how high the ball is off the ground. And that was an occasion it looked like Lasso was just trotting onto that pass. Lauren did his job at the back post.
Stanic. It was a slip by Seagull. If that pass had got through, Zola would have been in the clear. Seagull lost his balance.
He's not been alone in that tonight. That's good pressure, great pressure.
Morris. Lasso's done very well in a tight area there. Gallas, who never needs too much extra bidding to come forward. And he's there again. A brilliant young Frenchman.
The player's falling all over the place here.
Perez. Good advantage played by the referee.
Perez was furious as well. Got up in a real glower at Stanic.
Stanic, you've got to be careful. He just collected that yellow card. Lampard, whose father has 2 FA Cup winners' medals with West Ham United. Zola, who has 2 with Chelsea. Perez, waved on by the assistant. Wiltor, of course, scored in that final to win at Manchester United in the 5th round. Toure. Darting run from Jeffers, but Perez wasn't looking in that direction. He was trying to thread it through for Toure.
Well, you mentioned Sylvain Wiltor's goal against Manchester United, but I think the worry would be Arsenal fans looking at that goal and the one the next week against Ajax, I think, in the Champions League, are the only 2 goals that he's got in, what, some 4 months or so of football, Mark. I know he hasn't always started, but he's always been involved in a lot of the games. He's not exactly what you would call in a rich vein of goal-scoring form.
No, but he hasn't played too many games through the middle, has he? But I know what you're saying. He started the season with a whole flurry of goals. He was a leading Premiership goal scorer after 4 or 5 weeks. Lampard.
Well, it's tight and it's tense. I think we expected that. Great healthy respect, both of these teams, Ranieri and Arsene Wenger. Both, I'm sure, huge respect of each other's coaching ability, and also the teams have huge respect for each other.
Yes, Claudio Ranieri's been at all Arsenal's home games in the Champions League. He's quite an admirer of his rivals tonight. Gallas. Now Petit. Can Lampard get a shot in? Good frame by Taylor. Could have easily got away from the goalkeeper.
Great hands. Thought he might shift it left, Frank Lampard. He had the option here. The ball just breaks to him. Look how tight it is, how many players are in that little area, Martin. Gets the shot off well enough, and look at Hasselbaink, ready to pounce. Taylor had spilt it.
Toure. Edu. Pressed back by Lampard. For all the supposed devaluation of the FA Cup, the big clubs continue to prosper in it. Arsenal targeting a third successive final. If Chelsea win tonight, they'll be in the semis for the 6th time in 10 seasons. Lampard. Petit. Here's Stanic. Can't connect to Jody Morris. Typical of him, he was trying to make up for his error. Very well floated pass by Pires up to Parlour. And for Edu. Wiltor waiting for Pires.
Edu stopped. He wanted to carry on running. They worked the ball so well, Wiltor. They've drawn 4-5 Chelsea players to this touchline. Look at them, the blue shirts around them. It just opens up for him, and if Edu keeps going, he's on a very, very good position. The ball at his feet. It's been like sparring for first quarter of the match, Martin. You just get the feeling the last couple of minutes has just started to open up a little. Passes are starting to find their target.
A header on by Stanic that found Hasselbank, who's linking up with Zola here. Solid tackle by Pires. Wiltor, got that wrong. Morris. Now a chance for Arsenal to get forward. Wiltor, 1 of 4 in this attack. Jeffers making a run. Patrick Vieira has been the goal. Oh, it's an own goal. John Terry, who scored the first goal at Highbury in the right end, has done it at the wrong end here at Stamford Bridge.
They've sprung on them brilliantly, Arsenal. They get exposed. The midfield is out the game, Martin. Look at it. The 3 centre-backs are the only players. 4 against 3. Will they pick the right ball? Lovely run from Jeffers across. And if Patrick Vieira faces it across the 6-yard box, then he's given Chelsea a problem. John Terry maybe should have dealt with it a little better, Martin. It does arrive fairly quickly, but it's a little bit wrong-footed. Arrives on his left foot when maybe, or his right foot, sorry, when the left would have been better for clearing it. But as long as Vieira played it across the face, there was going to be a problem.
It's Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1. And here come the FA Cup holders again. Edu. Parlour. Angling it for Lauren. Well, of John Terry's 10 goals for Chelsea, 4 have come in the FA Cup, some important ones too, 2 in quarter-finals, and he settled the semi-final last season against Fulham, you might recall. And this is 1 goal that he doesn't want on his record.
That was awkward. He just couldn't get his feet right the way he wanted.
Arsenal played with a certain amount of economy, and then there they recognised the chance to attack in numbers. Wiltor leading the way, supported by Vieira, and they made their own bit of good fortune. Coming together there between Parlour and Rousseau.
Well, that'll have stunned Chelsea, Mark, because they started pretty well. Hasn't been a real threat really from Arsenal. The shot from Parlour that drifted harmlessly wide. But when they had the opportunity, didn't they take it well? Didn't they break fantastically well?
Melchior. So this reshaped Arsenal team tonight. So far, Arsene Wenger's decisions paying dividends.
The one thing Chelsea have got, or have been tonight, is a little narrow at the top end of the pitch. Okay, where Graham Rousseau's got it now, but he's only got 1 ball, and that's in field. Same with Stanic has it, right hand side. It'll be interesting to see how long Claudio Ranieri lets 1-0 sit, Martin, without making a change. Whether it be with the 11 that are there, formation system-wise, or whether it is bringing on someone. You know he's not frightened to change quickly if he needs to.
Well, the aggressive midfield running of Frank Lampard has given Ray Parlour a couple of problems in this game already. Coming infield with his fellow county man from Essex.
It's about 30 yards. It's certainly achievable. Looks like Jimmy said, I'm having it.
It's deflected and very well reacted to by Stuart Taylor.
Well, I don't know if the deflection hindered him or helped him. It's hard to say where this was going. Well, I think it helped him. That's why Hasselbank was so frustrated. This was arcing towards the corner, the top corner. The deflection took it right down the goalkeeper's throat.
And so he lines up another right wing corner with his left foot. Good judgment by Seagull. Well, he'd had no chance if that had carried on towards the top corner, Stuart Taylor, but it still came quickly to him.
Yeah, he's aiming for the goalkeeper's left. And you see he got that. I think he got the line pretty much exactly where he wanted. So the touch is such an important one. I think it might have even been Robert Perez that head it struck. It certainly helped his goalkeeper.
We've seen cup ties change by deflections from free kicks this season, haven't we, to Arsenal's advantage at Old Trafford. That's a bit awkward for Campbell, tidied up though by Lauren. Lampard. Here's Morris. I would think, Andy, that given Touré's inexperience as a left-back, that Chelsea got one or two wingers on the bench, haven't they? Gronkier, Zenden.
I'm just looking down there. I see Jesper Gronkier at the moment. He's doing a warm-up. Well, I think that's something he would have to think. I think that's probably why they picked Touré, Mark. I think Arsene Wenger might well have thought that Gronkier would be released on that right-hand side. We saw what Keith Gillespie did to Arsenal up at Blackburn a couple of weeks ago, down that channel, down that side, with his pace and his direct running.
Touré played left back in Valencia, didn't have the happiest of times, and he got sent off against PSV when he was playing against Dennis Romedar at Highbury. It's not a great track record, is it? But he's a real gung-ho character, Kolo Touré. He's proud to be an Arsenal player, and he'll do any job that the manager gives him. Ahead of him, Perez trying to...
I have to say, Mark, he better beware, Stanic. I mean, that's a blatant, and I mean blatant obstruction, or impeding as it's called these days. Yeah, I mean, Perez is doing him here, he's passed him, and that is deliberate. I think if Stanic hadn't had a yellow card, he would certainly have gotten one then.
Perez takes. Lampard's header connects with a colleague, Lasso. Hasselbank.
Well, that'll be everything. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind about that.
Well, for centre-backs to get booked in this part of the pitch, I know he's coming back, but not even his own half. Hasselbank, I guess, was making good tracks. It's an impulsive challenge. Almost got behind Touré and Perez. That's a fair challenge by Mario Stanic. Chelsea, remember, trying to avoid losing to Arsenal in this competition for a third season in a row. They were the holders prior to that. The fifth round tie at Highbury that Wiltor played a big part in, coming on as a substitute. They won 3-1. And of course the final last year. And here they are 1-0 down in the quarter-final replay at Stamford Bridge. Toure trying to improve Arsenal's position. Wiltord. Terry gets in the way. Pires fires it back. Morris gets in the way. Vieira.
Good spell for Arsenal.
Segon and Edu with a clever piece of work. That's good work by Stanic.
Fantastic work.
Petit. Zola can turn. Close one, but Hasselbank has stayed onside. That's really wrong-footed. Graham Rousseau trying to come in from the opposite flank. On Friday, Sky Sports 1, England under-21s away to Portugal, who are very good at that level. Should be a fascinating match. You can see it at 6. And then Scotland under-21s against Iceland under-21s comes straight afterwards.
Well, Chelsea are going to make a change, Martin.
Vieira. Is it going to be 2 here? It is. Sylvain Wiltord. It's been a similar break, and Arsene Wenger looking altogether more relaxed.
Well, we mentioned he's not here, but what about Patrick Vieira again? Look at him running from midfield. Again, he's broken in behind. And can he pick the right ball? Oh, you bet your life he can. Fantastic finish from Wiltord. But what a part the captain played yet again in that break. What a talent he is. What a figure he is for Arsenal. And how important he is that he plays. Substitution's been made.
Grokiar is on. But the horse might have bolted. Stanic not helped by the fact that he's already been booked. There's a chance now for Grokiar to show his dribbling skills against possibly a weak area of the Arsenal team, but an Arsenal team that are leading here at Stamford Bridge by 2 goals to 0.
And they've given a classic example of scoring when you're on top again.
Mistake by Pires. And she's apologising to his teammates for fulsomely.
I thought Jimmy might pull the trigger there, Mark. I thought he had a chance.
Grokiar. We're getting the word from the bench that it is a tactical change. I don't think there was much doubt about that. Nice to have it confirmed though.
Just initially when he came on, nothing much happened, but I was just looking to see. I think they'll probably go back to a back 4 mark. Maybe Jody Morris be the one to play left side. Just let me know on that when it settles a bit.
Trying to get him on at 1-0 as you were saying, Andy.
We're trying.
10 minutes to go to half-time. Lascelles. Zola. More room available because of Ray Palmer. Melchior. And 2 crosses, both dealt with by Edu, both disappointing for Chelsea. Jefferson's. Pires.
What would disappoint Ranieri at half-time, Martin, is there an area where he's put 3 players at the start of the game? Morris, Lampard and Petit is the area where they've been exposed most for the 2 goals, with Patrick Vieira just galloping forward and influencing the play and creating 2 goals.
Lampard. Now Grokiar. Good response this by Chelsea. Gallas coming forward as well. Going to play some high-risk football, really. Oh, and it landed on the half volley, and Taylor couldn't deal with it.
Horrible for him, spinning viciously. mean, it's not all over. I should emphasise for Chelsea, 2-0 is not a good scoreline, but a goal now before half-time. Game on again.
There is Heller. It's a good volley by Lampard. Important block by Wiltord. Lampard picking himself up. Here comes Gronkjaer. Knew where Melchiot was. Straight to the cross. In for Zola, it was tricky. Hasselbank, Lasseau. Arsenal standing firm. Parlour that time.
Well, everybody, they've got every single player within 30 yards of their own goal line. Arsenal, quite right. It's a good spell for Chelsea. A really, really good response from the team in blue. What can they do what Arsenal did not? And is that get a goal when they are enjoying a good spell?
Just a bit too ambitious, the pass by Jeffers, trying to angle it inside Melchiot for Pires. 7 minutes to go to half-time. Maintaining the 2-goal cushion would be Arsenal's prime target. Morris. Hasselbank. Cross goes Sol Campbell. Can't stop the ball coming in. Deep to Gronkjaer. Still everyone back for Arsenal.
That's Arsenal. Got that mental ability to defend like this, defend deep. I think their aim is certainly to get at half-time no worse than 2-0.
Morris. By Seagull. Parlour's there. Jeffers went down. Chelsea have their own views on that, as they did at Highbury. Now Cam switching to Frank Lampard, who's very much at the thick of the action. In a West Ham team that went out in a quarter-final replay to Arsenal back in '98. That actually went to penalties at Upton Park. It is 4-4-2 now, indeed, isn't it?
Yeah.
With Morris on the left, and so is an orthodox left back, Melchiot at right back. Gronkjaer wide right. He's got great dribbling skills. He's not the most consistent crosser of a ball. Good spell of Chelsea possession, but Master would say, have a look at the scoreline.
Well, they've had enough of the ball, Chelsea, but it's been in areas like this an awful lot. But they've just been punished. I mean, Vieira's been immense this first half for Arsenal, whether it's been back defending in front of his back four in his own penalty area, or when creating 2 first-half goals for Arsenal. I mean, I know we see it time and time again, there he is, and people say about Henry, how important he is, but I can't believe that Vieira is not the most important player who wears red and white week in, week out.
It's a great credit to him how he's seized the responsibility of leadership. Here's Hasselbank, who's had some good days against Arsenal in the past, but not the recent past. And of course, in the cup final, he seemed to be handicapped by injury right from the start. Well, it was only after he went off that Arsenal got those 2 stunning goals at the Millennium Stadium. The same scoreline here. Wiltord. Edu. Petit turns away. And certainly made some contact with Edu, but also the ball as well.
I think it's a fact it took a little bit of time, David, there to make the decision.
Make no mistake about it, all the Arsenal players who've travelled here were hoping to be in the starting 11. It's the manager who is pumped for this particular lineup. Well, the thing is, if it does change for the worse for Arsenal, look who's got really bursting to come on there.
A spark there. Petit and Jeffers.
Arsenal and ex-Arsenal.
Oh, Jeffers took exception, I think. Must have been. I think there was much in that. And then I've looked and followed the ball. And then Jeffers and Petit just a bit locked on.
I say the heads got very close together, didn't they? Jeff is trying to explain why he was so agitated. Many years of experience, a good manager of players is David Ellery.
There's much to do about nothing. There's a tangle of arms and legs. That was the area that would have caused a bit of concern. He's gone in again, Jeffers. That's dangerous. And one or two referees I've seen might have taken exception to that, Mark.
Well, there's no doubt that David Ellery did see it, and he's taken a rather paternalistic view of it. School teacher by profession, of course. Zola with some adept control. He wasn't appealing for any foul. He was wanting to reclaim possession of the ball in his own Chelsea corner. It is an opportunity really to rattle Arsenal's cage right on half-time. If they could get it back to 2-1. Terry with particular interest after his own goal. Another one that's gone too long.
The four corners from this side, Martin, three of them have been too long. Really poor. First one they got spot on. Jimmy should have given Chelsea the lead from that one. Seagan's in total control. He knows he's had a little look. I know there's nobody behind me, so if it's over my head, clever play. Just let it run and we'll have a goal kick, he says.
Claudio Ranieri has not yet got a win over Arsenal on his CV. 4 defeats and 4 draws in 8 contests against Arsene Wenger since coming to this country. Two added minutes. Lauren, pressed by Petit. Chelsea need all that and more.
Well, interesting here, George. I saw some particular about the second goal. I looked at it and I've looked again. And Vieira breaks forward like that, Martin. You notice Scallas kind of breaks away from the left side of the defence where Wiltord is. Now they've got John Terry faced up. I know they were struggling, but interesting he thinks here, George thinks he should have stayed on his side and let someone who's more central like Terry deal with Vieira coming through the middle. Because as soon as he did, and Patrick Vieira just released the ball perfectly, Wiltord did the rest.
Petit. With the greatest respect to West Bromwich Albion and Manchester City, going with 3 at the back there, perhaps less risky than taking on Arsenal. There was plenty of space on both goals for Arsenal to use, but there's a touch here by Perez in his own penalty. It drops for Petit. We recognise that as a missed moment, really.
Well, Sol Campbell's just a little word with Tory, because they all go out, Martin, here as this ball drops. Arsenal players, once that's out there, they all go except Torre, who just kind of holds, and they're worried about him playing offside. He's 4 yards behind the rest of them. Campbell just in a little word in his ear. Follow us out when we go.
He's pushed about his preferred position, Tourette's midfield, but he's done a decent job at left back, but leading by example. A monumental first half from Patrick Vieira in this much changed Arsenal team, forcing the own goal off the unlucky John Terry, and then setting up Sylvain Wiltord for the second. Chelsea with masses to do. At half-time on their own ground, they're 2-0 down, and Arsenal are heading towards a semi-final again.
Chelsea back, here we go. 2-0 up Arsenal, still with a very firm grip on the FA Cup. We're interactive, push the red button, follow the instructions. Pascal Cygan is the focus of play again for the first 15 minutes of this second half. Commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thanks, Richard. Chelsea looking for a comeback here. The last team to do that included this fella. That's Gary McAllister, who helped Liverpool, of course, come back from 1 down in the FA Cup final of 2001. Here in his capacity as manager of Coventry City. Not sure that they'll be shopping at this level, but
couldn't afford Henry then. Well, I'll tell you, man, it's going to be interesting. Second half. 2 out-and-out wide players now on for Chelsea. The back four, it was interesting, little conversation going on with Lampard, Hasselback and Gallas there just before kick-off here.
Conversation, it was a full-scale rant, wasn't it? Well, desperate times need desperate remedies. That's from Chelsea's point of view. Delightful for Arsenal at this stage. They've got the 2 goals. They've made Chelsea chop and change. 2 substitutes now used. Gronkiar on after the best part of, 35 minutes, I suppose. And Zenden on for the second half. 2 wide men.
I'll tell you what, I don't think the back unit helped at all first half in respect to being broken against Man. I think the gap between John Terry, Gallas and Melchior and the midfield players was far too big. I think they were a little frightened to push up that back lot in case they get caught, as they did do in the first game a couple of times, albeit with Henry's pace, but I think they were a little bit scared to push up too far, and the gap was miles too big. Now this half, Gallas and Terry and co have really got to push up behind the midfield.
Well, that's what they want to see from Gronkiar, to try and make it uncomfortable for Kolo Touré. Free kick given. And still pulling everyone back as Chelsea just leave Melchior back. So takes. Lampard, not an easy one to strike, and nor was that. That was shades of Gudjohnsen here a few weeks ago from Manu Petit.
Well, the bounce is the thing that made it awkward for Stuart Taylor. And he did well, he shuffled it away. And the main thing was he got it out of play. Didn't just drop it down in front of him.
Important early minutes in the second half. Chelsea trying to pile on some pressure here. Petit was setting himself for a shot again. Gronkiar. It's Terry. Seagulls made a bit of a hash of the clearance. It's come to Hasselback. They've taken the corner. Vincent yells if Zoller had actually gone down then. He put all his energies into trying to retain his balance. Hasselback, a long way out. Not too far wide.
Well, a bit of rollicking, I think that's safe to say. Started very quickly. There was a little shout from behind the goal when Zola came together with Patrick Vieira. He's played it in here, and Vieira come in at the back one, but nothing much in that, Martin. This is the overhead kick. Ambitious, but it's a bounce just in front of him. It was awkward for the goalkeeper.
Lasso, Zenden. Here's Petit. Zola. Hasselbank. Roncow waiting on the right. Hasselbank goes the opposite way and unsuccessful. Getting his ears burnt by his teammates.
The thing is, Mark, there's no excuse for Jimmy not knowing what was there. Jimmy knows that the system they've got, they're going to, any time he gets the ball, if he looks one way or the other, there's either going to be Zenden with chalk on his boots left and Roncow with chalk on his boots right. So all he needs to do is just spin into the space and play it.
Gallas. Arsenal can just push up a little bit, having been penned back right from the kickoff at the start of the second half. They need to maintain their work rate. I've got fresher players in, of course, with these multi-changes made by Arsene Wenger from Sunday. Hasselbank. Been on target to Seagull. Stop Taylor being called into action again. Quick corners on, Arsenal a bit slow to react. Hasselbank.
Can't believe how many times they've been long in the delivery.
Lampard. Wiltor. Enough done by Gronkier to stop Pires getting in behind him.
It's here now. If you look and see where Edu and Vieira are now, Mark, the relationship to back four, very, very little room in between it. That's a big difference.
Gronkier. They didn't press the man with the ball. Petit was able to spring a pass forward to the right-hand side. Part of the first half tactics, Andy, for Chelsea were determined by what happened in the first half at Highbury, where they played a four and were overrun, and Ranieri changed it successfully at half-time, put five across midfield, got his result there.
Yeah, I still think this wasn't the team that Chelsea played at Highbury first leg, but Bonomi's not on the side. It's a huge difference. You know that you're not quite as susceptible to getting sprung in behind, Mark, and you can push up a little bit. I just didn't think the back lot helped the midfield a great deal either. I know the midfield went brilliant.
Arsenal. Vieira couldn't find a pass for a counter-attack, but he might have done had Henry been out there, but he was good enough and strong enough and willing enough to make sure the ball stuck with him until he was mown down, and Arsenal can regroup from the free kick. Remember, Vieira playing, what, 70-75% fit? And still putting on a magnificent show. It's not a show that's run its course yet. Chelsea have shown some verve and vivacity about their play in the early minutes of the second half, and Hasselbank looking to fasten on to a Zola pass. Seagull was presumably tripped by Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Probably accidentally, just a little coming together of legs. I didn't think the ball was on. It's that Seagull got a really good position, Mark. He gave himself a couple of yards start on Jimmy. And what surprised me, Zola had a little bit of space to move into. Well, that's the last change he can make. It's almost certain to happen at 2-0. It's just a matter of when. Another couple of May Parlour will find himself booked purely because he's given away probably too many free kicks.
Petit, Zola, and Zenden. Edu was there for Arsenal. It's a clever layoff, isn't it? Jeffers as he fell over. Luck with him. So Chelsea were in an aggressive mood at the start of the second half. And they're making it awkward for Arsenal, and in turn they're making it awkward for David Ellery.
They hurted Chelsea. I mean, mentally, I think first half Arsenal were just a bit too strong. in the All Grey Matter Stakes.
Players going for the same ball, but it didn't trouble them.
See, that shouldn't be allowed. What Patrick Vieira was allowed to do, Mark. A ball just drops out to the edge of your box. You've got pressure on, and not one of your midfield players is putting any pressure on him. Stood back 15 yards behind Patrick, let him control it and clear it.
It's a free kick against Perez, who won the ball back unfairly. Ball came from a bad pass by Melchior. Gronkjar and Perez, and it's still going on. And Perez went down, suggesting that Gronkjar deliberately stuck out a foot.
Well, we couldn't quite see the pictures we were looking at, whether he did or not.
And the headmaster study again. This time, naughty pupils, Perez and Gronkjar.
The naughty boys. Free kick's given there, and then there's well, I'll tell you what, it was close. It was a really clumsy tackle.
And watch Gronkjar. Does he do anything? Watch him. There.
You're right, not to school, boys.
Yeah. Slap wrist. Can we go? We can't do that anymore, can you? So, telling off. A bit slow to retreat. Chelsea have worked the free kick around them. In any case, and Zola, twinkling feet. In he goes again, and it's scooped away from him by Taylor.
Oh, that's a risky throw. What on earth was Stuart Taylor doing there? What on earth was he doing, Martin?
I'll tell you what he's doing, and he's getting caught up in an emotional FA Cup game. He's not very experienced at this level, and he'll know better in future. He got away with it.
And Patrick Vieira was just surrounded by blue shirts. I don't know what he expected his skipper, a brilliant player that he is, to actually do. But he got away with it.
And Arsenal at the moment are getting away with a difficult opening 10 minutes of the second half. Their 2-0 lead is still intact. Parlour. Lauren. So showed him the inside. Wiltor now got 10 goals in 18 games in the FA Cup, 3 of them against Chelsea. Perez, Edu. And to the liking of the Arsenal faithful.
Well, it can't be long if it stays like this till Ivan Johnson joins us. Football match. What's going to be the interesting thing, Martin, is exactly who he takes off.
Zenden. Well, Hasselbank will be one candidate, wouldn't he? He just went like for like. I'm sure Jimmy would like to have Ivar Gudjonsson's complementary style. They were a wonderful pairing last season. With him. Gronkjar. Melchior. Seagon being naturally left-footed, is never any slouch getting across on that side.
Did well. Defensively saw it happening. Made his move early into the gap, into the space down the channel. He was there well before Gronkjar.
It's another bite at it. Back post, unfortunately for Chelsea, was Gianfranco Zola. Zola wanting to throw it long.
This is where we're going to squeeze edge of the box for anything that comes down. Keep the pressure on like that. Keep the ball alive and keep it in there.
Parlour won the throw off Zenden. And we'll find out now who Ivar Gudjonsson is going to replace.
It's Petit, Martin. His head's gone down. The hands have gone on the hips. Oh. Well, Zola looked at Petit and Petit's head dropped, and whether he's changed his mind on that.
Petit has come to get the instructions, which under pressure can probably be delivered easier in Italian by Claudio Ranieri, to Zola, who can interpret them quicker and sprinkle the message around, which is what he's doing now.
Well, I really have thrown caution to the wind. And now got Zola and Frank Lampard as the two central midfield players. Gonkiaren's ending either side of them. Got to be done though, it's a cut ties. Semi-final at stake with 2-0 down. You might as well lose too late on, chasing one and trying to get back in it. He wasn't happy, Arnaud Petit.
He's a very proud guy, and of course wanting to be at his most expressive with his football against Arsenal, where he had 3 very happy years. It's ended. Good little touch by Lauren, though. That's where Arsenal might find it easier to progress now. Jeffers is offside. Can't see Zola getting in too many strong challenges. But if they can get him on the ball alongside Lampard, maybe he can find the sort of pass that Chelsea have been lacking to this point. He's still in play. Terry. Jeffers, he might have just knocked the ball forward with a hand then, but he's allowed to go on. Pires got runners to the right. Parla, so trying to get there. Flew across past Jeffers, past Wiltord.
Well, that's a chance Chelsea have to take. The Arsenal are going to spring on them. It may be that Frank Lampard and all the midfield players has to sit.
This sort of sitting, you mean?
Yeah. Back pass. I think it's rather an ambitious shout from the fans.
Deflection, I think.
Yeah. I think he's done well, David Ellery. It's a pretty good hour, the referee. It's not been a difficult game, but he's had 1 or 2 little spats that I think he's dealt with excellently. Not happy.
That's a difficult ball.
Certainly a change of play result to Melchior right back. Easier ball.
Wiltord. Edu. Not a classical Arsene Wenger player in that he doesn't have explosive pace. Most of the others do, including Toure. Play safe.
Well, Jimmy's got to just play up as high as he can, I think. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. I mean, he's miles too deep there. There's no point in him getting involved in anything defensively, him or Johnson. They've got to play and put pressure on the 2 centre-backs and move them around. Try and create a bit of space for somebody who might arrive from deeper.
Well, Chelsea looking for some heroes here. Named Gianfranco Zola as the club's greatest ever player. Poll earlier this year. I think I'm right in saying that Chelsea have scored in every game this year, but they haven't scored tonight. If they got 1, certainly expose maybe some Arsenal nerves. Definitely invigorate the crowd. They're still going strong, to be fair to them. They do have very passionate supporters, maybe the most passionate in London. A few would query that remark, I'm sure, from elsewhere in the capital.
Well, they're not exactly banging at the door, are they, Martin? Arsenal's defence at the moment. It's not quite happening.
Well, some FA Cup pedigree for Chelsea in the ground, but unfortunately for them, not on the pitch. Roberto Di Matteo, scorer in 2 winning finals. is better from Chelsea. Hasselbank. Oh, and he was trying in the end to tee up Gudjohnsen. When he switched to his right, it looked as though facing the goal, the shot might be on. He thought otherwise. Zola. Gudjohnsen's offside.
Flag is up. Must have been closer. It should have been for Ira Gudjohnsen. Oh dear me, Mark. That's a tight decision. I think he's level. I don't think he is offside. The ball's played.
Now, George Graham and I were talking to David Ellery before the game, and just one thing that we're generally talking about football this season, in which George said he thought the refereeing was very good, but he'd like to see the attackers more favoured in circumstances just like that, as the laws of the game tell the officials they should be.
Wasn't that difficult one either. It's not as if the ball travelled 50 yards, 40 yards, only travelled 10. Well, he didn't have to shift his eye line too much, the linesman, if at all.
Waiting in the wings.
Is it just a little threat though? Just run up and down the line a couple of times, lads. Yeah. As long as it's 2-0, we'll leave you where you are.
Well, you're looking at who went the 90 minutes on Sunday, aren't you? And the error, of course, and Campbell were conspicuous in that respect. Seagal as well, Lauren.
Certainly plays a good take out. I think Campbell and Vieira would be two of those, wouldn't they?
Zender.
Good enough. Speculative.
Only scored once for Claudio Ranieri this season, and that was back in August in a game that did finish 2-2 against Manchester United.
Well, he's switching the wide players. That's what he was shouting to Zender.
Colo Torres had Stanic, he's seen him off. Bronchiar is been responsible for the switch of that. Oh, it's a miscue by Seagal. Hasselbank. Seagal's connected with him. There was certainly cover.
The yellow card.
It should be yellow.
It will be yellow. Oh. Oh, got that.
Seagal goes off. It was a silly mistake, and Arsene Wenger has a problem to deal with. His team are down to 10 men as they were here in September when Patrick Vieira was sent off.
I have to say, Edu didn't do him any favours. It was a really stupid ball he played back to him at a really awkward height, but he did make a mess of it. And it's almost, well, it's a little tug. Jimmy felt it and went down, and when you pull someone back, the yellow card follows. The red followed straight after it.
Now, what can Chelsea make from the free kick?
Well, they're trying to make a substitution. They're taking off Jeffers and bringing on Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. I just wonder, will that mean that Patrick Vieira will go back and play centre-back? Martin has done it before.
Quarter of the game to go if it finishes in 90 minutes.
Well, this wasn't quite in the Arsene Wenger plan for the rest of this match.
It's Zender. It's still 2-0 Arsenal.
Chat about it, having a little look. Is it going to be Torre? Yeah, it is, it looks like it. I'll tell you what, they're confident about him being able to cope with it, isn't he, Martin?
It is a position that he enjoys playing. Most of his football in Africa comes from the Ivory Coast, has been as a centre-back. His international football, I think, is mostly as a central defender.
He's seen off 2 or 3 players, and now he's having a look at another position.
So suddenly Arsenal have more anxious eyes on the passage of time here.
Well, it ain't easy playing 10. People shouldn't automatically think that that's it. Chelsea have a great chance. You still have to break down 2 backs of 4, and that's never easy. It's almost like a practice match. This is something that Chelsea players would have worked in, I'm sure, in training often.
Well, that, you might think, would be confusion between Toure and Taylor, but it was Campbell and Taylor.
I think he must have called the goalkeeper. Certainly his reaction suggested that he did call for the ball. But if you're unsure, then if Sol Campbell must have been that, then you've got to deal with it.
Gronkia. Zenden. And Lascelles was caught late by Vieira. Gronkia's cross. Taylor leaving it to the defenders to deal with. He's given that the free kick, David Ellery, against Hasselbank.
I wonder if we might hear in the aftermath of the game, Martin, 1 or 2 Arsenal staff asked the question, what was the difference between that one and the blatant obstruction of Robert Perez by Mario Stanic in the first half when he'd already been booked? I think it would be a fair question.
No sooner on than Van Bronckhorst needs some attention in that collision with Hasselbank.
Well, he hacks away at it, Jimmy. I mean, this is just frustration because Van Bronckhorst is trying to let it go. He's got his body in front of it, and Jimmy's just trying to hack away at the ball. Frustration showing through, really.
Well, that's was the Mario Stanic incident that you mentioned. He had been yellow carded at this point.
Much difference?
Different part of the pitch, I suppose, wide through the central.
I think the offence very similar. I think we might hear Arsene Wenger mention it in the aftermath. Should this result go anything other than an Arsenal win, which has looked like it for so long.
He's closing in on his 50 red cards, isn't he, Arsene Wenger? 48 now. Still got 1 or 2 different kinds of cards up his sleeve, though, hasn't he? Terry. Now Lampard. Tangle there with Kolo Toure, who did well. Wiltor kept it well for Arsenal. Just thinking with the Seagull sending off, he will now miss the semi-final. 1-game suspension for that. Zenden can't get the cross in.
Well, this is drills that both teams are worked on, Mark, right from the training ground. Play against 8.
Lampard. And one way you can break it up, of course, is get men running in from deep, as Gallas was trying to do.
I'll tell you what, the one thing I know from experience is how difficult it is to break down and how few goals you actually get at times when you do it.
Lampard. who almost took it back into trouble. Then Perez wins the goal kick off Hasselbank. Arsenal have been pretty experienced down the years, playing 10 against 11. They've come out of some pretty sticky situations. And it's time for Freddie Ljungberg.
Perez came off against Everton and he was very, very disappointed. I don't think he'll be as disappointed. I think what they need defending this, I'm sure he'll understand the Frenchman. Freddie's got good legs. He'll be able to walk up and down that left-hand side, protect Van Bronckhorst if need be, keep the four in midfield. Type of player he needs. Henry's coming on as well. Can only be for Walter, I would guess. Yeah. And that'll just occupy Gallas and Terry. Introduction of the top goal scorer.
Well, whatever happens from now on, Sylvain Wiltord and this FA Cup has scored away at Old Trafford. He's scored away at Stamford Bridge.
That's extraordinary, isn't it, to think that Arsenal have gone into those two cup ties at Old Trafford and here. Two of the biggest games they can play without this man in the start lineup. And at the moment, looks like they're coming through, both of them.
Here is Henry. He's had plenty of success against Chelsea in the past. 7 goals in 10 games against them. Gallas. Zola.
Well, they'll be happy if it stays like this, playing in front of them, playing in front of the 4 midfield players.
Lost it. Lampard. Sol Campbell goes across and
Brilliant.
uses the colossal frame that he possesses.
Well, once he takes the extra touch, Frank Lampard wondered if he could have got a shot away here, but he takes another touch. I think Campbell's a bit close, but look at that strength. Gets the body between ball and Lampard. He ain't going anywhere.
Ball always within playing distance.
Yeah, he was immense at the weekend, I thought, against Everton. He's been the same tonight, as has Vieira. Those two have been, I think, the pick of both those games.
As you saw, you can follow Sol Campbell on Player Cam if you're a Sky Digital viewer via the red button on the remote. Zola. It's a brilliant ball for Eidur Gudjohnsen, who just stolen away from Sol Campbell there.
Well, they've not had many chances. This is the best ball Zola's played all night. It wasn't that difficult to control. Arrived on the half volley, which you normally quite like, but he didn't take the pace off it.
Melchior. Got to keep believing, the team in blue. Lasser. Zenden. Gallas. Melchior. Arsenal in a position of retreat, but controlled retreat. The deflection there for Hasselbank. Oh, and Lampard spotted Zola. And after Lauren had led the breakout, Arsenal might have felt, and he might have felt in particular, having played it wide, that he might have continued the attack.
He spoke for choice, I think. He had Henry there, he had Freddie, who he tried to play it to, he had Ray Powell on this near side.
Zola. Fits Vieira, which takes a bit of doing. Gudjohnsen.
It's narrow, isn't
One
it?
pass too many, isn't it?
It's narrow.
So maybe getting it wide would be a better policy, but so decides to run at Arsenal. Oh, Van Bronckhorst missed his header. Oh, pin table stuff in the Arsenal penalty area. It's a corner. It could have been much worse than that.
Well, he got away with it, Colo Toure. He just flashed at the ball, hit Sol Campbell. Could have gone anywhere.
There was a misjudgment by Van Bronckhorst initially at the back post. Didn't know Gudjohnsen was behind him. Hasselbank. 2-1. And John Terry repays some of the debt.
Well, they're all out except Sol Campbell, I think, here, Matt. You watch this, normally the ball gets played wide, they all come out. Far side, is it Sol Campbell who stays in? Well, I tell you what, John 20 might not have been, but is it Gallus that's in there with him? He's all over this as well. I think it is William Gallus. Look at them. I think Terry's okay, as you can see, but surely how can the linesman distinguish between who that ball was going to go to? Maybe too much movement in there, fooled the linesman. But certainly it wouldn't have surprised me if that flag had gone up.
So a cup quarter-final replay that could be of very dramatic dimensions. Chelsea on the charge. They were 2-0 down. Arsenal went a man down, and now that deficit has been halved on a night when John Terry has scored for both sides. Vieira. Arsenal on their mettle again. And so goes chasing. He still wants it back. Vieira is still in command.
Well, he's got a bit more to do, I'm sure. The goal is lifted, not all the Chelsea players, but the whole ground.
Extra time, certainly not on Arsenal's agenda when they came here today.
Well, I tell you, he's going to get trouble here. He's taking his time, taking the throw in. Lauren, David Ellery very aware of what's going on.
In his technical area, nothing he can say can be heard. It's bedlam at the bridge. Grokia. Here's Edu, tries for handball, but referee was well placed to see. Ljungberg hardly had a touch as yet. Parler, nothing immediately to the right of him. Eventually Lauren recognised his teammates' need. Still Lauren. It's a great break. It's a great goal. Just what the holders needed. A raid from the right back. And Arsenal again with 10 men. Have found the most fantastic response.
We always talk about where you send players, where's the least danger. If you send them infield, then that's the real danger, Martin. Full march to Arsenal. There wasn't a thought about holding on to it. They put players forward into attacking areas. Here, look, 4 of them high up the pitch, defending a 1-goal lead with 10 men. But I don't think he should be allowed to do this. That is not great defending.
And maybe not great goalkeeping.
No, I mean, it leaves a big gap. Cudicini, he should save that. Sneaks in at the post, but he knows it. That's game over. Don't think there's a doubt about that now. And everyone was up, down that touchline. The whole bench, the substitutes, the Arsenal staff. They know what a big moment that has been in the game.
Deflection on the Zola shot. Well, there's just some suggestion here that Thierry Henry has a cut on his face, and well, one would hope that that hasn't come from anything that might have been thrown at him.
Well, the celebrations took place right down below us, right on the touchline, in fact, outside of the touchline, so something was thrown, Mark. It didn't have to travel very far to hit a target. Let's hope it wasn't.
Lampard. Johnson's put it wide.
That's a chance. So a couple of opportunities there, Good Johnson. Might not have been given offside, and when he'd scored, had a chance, miscontrolled it, and this is another good chance. He's only 12 yards out. Not the best header he's ever put in.
Made some space, and we had a crack. Arsenal scoring their third goal of the game from their first attempt at goal in the second half.
Extraordinary.
And of course, they scored 2 goals from 1 attempt in the first half. All sorts of ways to do well in football matches, but it's not over yet. Gronkjar. Good Johnson, can he make space for the shot? He did. He was on target this time.
Oh, he gets down to this so quickly and so well. Might not have seen it come through the legs, but look how quickly. The most difficult save of all, I think, at times, the one that's close to your feet for a goalkeeper.
That's not what Chelsea wanted.
I think they've almost given it up, Martin, I think.
Oh, when Arsenal went down to 10 men, it really looked like they were letting Chelsea back into it. An impression that was increased when John Terry pulled it back to 2-1. Lasso. Gronkjar. Lampard. And it's come the way of several Chelsea players on the left. Hasselbank blocked by Lauren, who incidentally has scored away from Highbury for the first time for Arsenal.
Didn't pick a bad time to do it, did he?
Zola. Won't get to Hasselbank. Fowler can't get it wide though to Henry. Zola tries again. Well, that was a great headed chance for Gallas. And now Lampard lines one up. Taylor's down. The flag has gone up. It's gone down again. It's gone up again.
Lines is not too sure. Well, Gallas has a chance. I mean, you will look back on this game, Chelsea, and I think you'll consider they've had some pretty good chances, Martin. From Hasselbank's miss in the first half at 0-0 from a corner, a clear header from 6 yards, to Gallas's header there from no more than 4 yards. Poor efforts, both of them. A couple of chances in between. And it's not as if Arsenal have created loads of chances, but what they've done is they've been very, very clinical when they've had them.
Parlour.
And they've defended quite well at times, Arsenal have had to.
Henry, fresh as a daisy. Corner for Arsenal, 3 minutes to go, 3-1 they lead. Oxford and Farnborough were fairly low hurdles with the greatest respect to clear in round 3 and round 4. Then it was Manchester United away. Rematch for Chelsea at Highbury seemed to be going Arsenal's way. Could have put it to bed in the first half, even though they went 1 down early on. Made it difficult for themselves, needing the second game. Made it difficult for themselves in the second game. Despite a strong first half showing. Here they are, the holders. We talked actually on Sunday, didn't we, Andy, about Arsenal having to go back to the 1930s to retain a championship. They've never won the FA Cup 2 seasons in a row, even though their record of 8 triumphs in the competition is joint second in the all-time list. Still not beyond Chelsea's redress. We're expecting 3 added minutes. And Chelsea have got a free kick.
Yeah, it was just an arm up, I think, from Ray Parlour.
David Ellery was firm with the yellow card for Lauren for time wasting. Kroenke. It's Patrick Vieira, was it, who
absolutely
took it without flinching?
Well, it didn't hit him in the back.
Melchiot. Parlour's got to be careful. They're coming together with Gudjohnsen. Well retrieved by Graham Lasso. Gudjohnsen was still rather back on his heels. He's complaining that Parlour had fouled it. He's reacting more quickly this time to Zenden's throw. Ida Gudjohnsen for Chelsea. Edu. Henry.
Oh, he's in, Edu.
And he's not going to leave them trailing. And safely back to Parlour. Cuts across Zola cleverly. Wrong foot's Melchiot. For Zenden to try and stop him. And a few more seconds pass.
Much was talked about after they lost to Valencia, went out the Champions League, Martin, about Arsenal. How would they react? How would they recover? We've seen both the games, Everton and here tonight, and I tell you what, the answer, they've recovered absolutely superbly. Any sign of them feeling sorry for themselves at their exit? Absolutely not. They've been tremendous in 2 really difficult games. Everton was never going to be easy. They've not been 2 great performances, quality-wise, but they've needed 2 victories, and goodness me, they've gone the right way about getting them.
Just a quick reminder of the double-header for you on Friday night. The under-21s of Portugal against England and Scotland against Iceland. So a bit of talent spotting in front of your screens on Friday. Andy's done that a few times in the past. Here's Zola. Now Henry. Gudjohnsen. Helped down. 2 added minutes to go. 2 goals adrift. Chelsea, as they were in Cardiff last May, looking for the sweetness of revenge tonight. Here goes Hasselbank. It's Ida Gudjohnsen. Brilliant work by Taylor, particularly the second save. They won't give way, the Gunners.
I think he's made a few really, really big saves, Stuart Taylor, tonight. Well, they've made far more than Carlo Cudicini, Martin. And not all bread and butter, I tell you. He's had to make 2 or 3 excellent saves that have been really difficult.
It will be as good a game as he's had in the senior side.
Yeah, it must be.
Terry still trying, typically. Zenden. And Terry's got a touch of crap, shouldn't inconvenience him in joining up with the England squad. But he goes as a loser in the FA Cup quarter-final replay because the holders are through. They have had to do it the hard way. A replay they could well have done without. But it is Sheffield United in the semi-final on April the 13th. It is their 23rd time at this stage of the FA Cup, equaling Everton's all-time record. Lauren made sure at a particularly awkward moment. Terry had pulled it back to 2-1. Seagon had gone off for 2 yellow cards. Chelsea have gone out to Arsenal for the 3rd season in a row. Psychologically strong despite last week's setbacks. Physically strong despite some playing 2 games in just over 48 hours. The double-double is still on for Arsenal. Wiltor scored what was an important goal, making it 2-0. 2-1, they still had more to offer. They had Henry to bring on. They've shuffled their pack, Andy, and how Arsene Wenger does it, well, he's a managerial magician.
Well, you can't argue with it, Mark. The proof of the pudding is in the result. Wanted to leave out Henry, wanted to leave out Bergkamp, wanted to leave out Gilberto, wanted to leave out Freddie Ljungberg, felt that the rest of the players could come and respond, and I have to say they did. Again, it wasn't vintage Arsenal by any stretch of the imagination, but for character, for guts, for discipline, for determination, for desire, it was top class. It was 100% and more. And the captain, I mean, when Tony Adams retired, Martin, they wondered who would come and step in and take over that mantle, because he was a huge leader, and they felt there would be a void, would be too big for anyone to fill. Patrick Vieira, he's filled it for me. He is the new Tony Adams in that respect. He is the talisman, he is the man who drives them on, time and time and time again.
And he played well as well. David Seaman stand-in, Stuart Taylor. A succession of splendid saves. Wiltor has the goal touch in the FA Cup, there's no doubt about that. They'll be overwhelming favourites, but there's a semi-final against Neil Warnock's Sheffield United to come at Old Trafford, where they've won their last 2 semis, of course. Arsenal are heading there. They've won at Chelsea by 3 goals to 1.
You have to hand it to them. Fantastic. Arsenal again. The left boot of Lauren getting the attention as they leave the field. Back in the semi-finals. What a defence of the trophy. 3-1. How many times down the years when Manchester United have needed Roy Keane as he produced? How many times when Arsenal have needed Patrick Vieira as he produced?